Really good to not have y'all with us. I walked in without any fear of pranks on chairs or anybody pulling me a note set here, but just kidding. Miss this being face-to-face. Not going to get a negative word out of me as hard as you try today. There's some things that we can clean up, but just to be able to play, no negatives out of me unless we end up with cold turkey when we get to Florida.
Paul, go ahead.
Well, let's start with just being out on the floor and getting some emotions out. Was that, you feel like that was the first 3 or 4 minutes, just getting things maybe
first
some jitters
half.
out?
Whole first half. Yeah, it was everybody. Coach, I don't know what's wrong. Michaela, I don't feel like myself. It was everybody. So, and it was me. I didn't feel the same. I don't think any of us did. Because you know why we didn't? Because it wasn't. It wasn't the same. It was just different. So it took some getting used to. And, like I said, I'm not going to talk negative. I know every one of the kids are because they all think of a shot or a turnover or a rebound or something they could have done because they're all talking about not getting to 100. Oh, I could have done this or you could, which is irrelevant. But just to play, y'all have no idea how good it felt, how much it meant to the kids that, our administration's putting us in a place to safely be able to pull this off. There's a lot of cancellations across the country. We've been very diligent in following protocols and being really aware of mitigating as many possibilities as we can. We spent more time designing where people sat on the bench today than we did inbounds plays and sidelines plays. And when you do that, you get maybe the first half like we had. But I thought our defense was outstanding in the first half, so that's what carried us. And then in the second half, that led to a bunch of transition. And then I think our conditioning kicked in that second half. We looked more like ourselves.
Seth, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, first time we've gotten to see Destiny. She definitely lit it up. Is that what y'all been seeing all off season?
If I said that, she'd be mad at me because she's been playing better than that in practice. She's one of those kids that's going, man, I can't believe I missed that. I had a great open look. I didn't have a rebound. She's in there beating herself up over stuff that just doesn't, this doesn't make any sense. But that's the level. Yes, she's a very high level competitor, high level player. Nobody's got film on her around here. They may can go to Synergy and find her, but very few people have seen her play up close and personal. But she is explosive. She's dynamic. She makes everybody on the floor better, and just going to keep. I think you'll look back and be able to pick a handful of games, maybe 10 that were better than today.
Tyler, go ahead.
I don't have a final after all.
The defense, like you mentioned, obviously looked great. The steal numbers. I wanted to ask about Marquisha specifically. Seemed like her hands, as active as you could be at the top of the key there. Just how good was she on defense?
Best on-ball defender we've had for 2 years. She was our best on-ball defender last year too. We couldn't get around her in practice when we needed to simulate somebody that's who she's made a career off of that, being handsy and she can reach and not get out of position. If I reach, I'm out of position, the kid's by me. She can reach, get it, maybe not get it, then go contest the shot, rebound. And again, you saw a few of those flashes that we see in practice every day where we just shake our head and go, wow, I just can't believe she just did that. She changes the game in lots of ways, and now that she's got a good grasp of the offense, she's that player we focused on, taking a lot of those role minutes for us this year, and today was a great start for it.
Porter, go ahead.
Coach, getting to start the game off of the season off with unprecedented conditions, and on top of that, starting off at 11 o'clock in the morning to add to that. Talk about the defense, and you'd alluded to the fact that you'd swapped your practice from 80% defense to 20% offense, and you could really tell that today.
Well, yeah, and it goes back to even last year when Todd took over the defense. We're a year more now into his terminologies and them listening to his voice and knowing his expectations. But yes, the time spent has been very valuable. We had been noticing in football that it seemed to me like other than Barry Odom's Arkansas defenses were behind offenses. And it's because it requires so much time and so much communication and so much film work. We can't get them together to watch film anymore. So you don't get that connection. Hey, this is what I'll do for you on the ball screen, or this is where I'm going to be in your gap. You miss out on those opportunities. So We doubled the amount of preseason on defense. We felt like we had enough offensive weapons to carry us. And I think you look at nobody's probably going to feel like they played that great offensively. We had 96. So the offense will be there. If that defense stays like that and our attention to rebounding, it felt like we turned it over a bunch, but I don't know. I still can't read this new stat sheet. 9? Okay, well, we were under 10. It felt like 19. And we'll shoot free throws better. So maybe I did say something negative after all.
Paul, go ahead.
Just, what did you – I know you talked about limiting minutes and things going up, looking forward. Do you feel like you were able to do what you wanted to do and feel good about, the next 3?
Eerily close to what we predicted, Paul. I mean, if you look down what we wrote down, would have been an ideal situation. We didn't want anybody to play more than 30 minutes, and we wanted everybody to play at least 5. And I'm looking at it, and it looks like that got accomplished, with 3 games in the next 4 days against really, really high-quality opponents. We started that in practice. I told you that. We started last week in practice even limiting reps. And knowing that there was probably going to be a little bit of this, what we saw today, and that's fine because I think maybe that pays off on Sunday when we're trying to, scrape one out against Maryland down there on the beaches of Florida. So I hope it worked out. But, yeah, that was really close. We didn't want anybody to play more than 30 minutes, and we wanted to try to get everybody at least 5. And I think we snuck that in there at the buzzer.
Seth, go ahead.
And Mike, mentioning Florida, what do you want to do, or what did you see from your team against Oral Roberts that you can improve on as you go down to Florida?
Well, we're going to have to make more shots. The defenses will be longer. I give Oral Roberts a lot of credit. Misty Cousin, she could have brought she could have not played, to be honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of people around the country that probably, might have not played this game. But she said, Coach, we're coming. We are going to be there. We are going to play a game. And then their best player goes down, 30 seconds into the game. And it just, even as an opponent competitor, that just breaks your heart. But she said it was a bad ankle. She'll be okay. But, we're going to have to make more open shots. We created a really high number of quality open shots that I wouldn't have told you we would shoot the percentage of. So we'll have to make more. And then I think we'll have to clean a few things up defensively because we'll get isolated. We can't switch as much down there. I'll use the Wake Forest game as the first example. That's who we play first. They're 4 players and all conference kid, and they're 5 players, second team or honorable mention. So they're going to play inside, and we won't be able to switch, or we'll be in a world of hurt. So we got to do better guarding the ball. We had a little stretch there in the third quarter. I think they scored 10 points in about 3 possessions, and I could tell by Coach Schaefer's reaction we weren't very happy with that. So clean it up, do better, make a few more shots. Certainly do better from the foul line. We got to be closer to 70% than 61.
Porter, go ahead and close us out here.
Coach, just talk about your bench play when the starters was kind of struggling, and it seemed like the bench really come off and gave that team a spark. So talk about that, especially with your 3-game stretch coming up and how that's going to help.
How nice is it to look down there and see Jalen Mason as your spark? That's where we're at. We can put her in because that's exactly what she did. She came in, gave us a little spark, and immediately picked up. Aaron Barnum turned it up a level. And then when Q came in, we wanted to play all 8 kids. I said the other day I felt like we had 8 starters. Those kids that played in the first quarter could all be starters. But the way that we want to rotate, if you noticed, Jalen stayed in for 6 straight minutes after she checked in. And she played 3 different spots during those 6 minutes. So that's her versatility. That's her understanding, ability to guard multiple positions and play multiple positions. But it was something that we've not had here. We've not had quality depth in our first 3 years. And now I think we can go even deeper than that. I thought our 3 freshmen, counting Oberg in that mix just because she didn't get to play because of injury last year as much, but they all had an impact. Riley Langman really did a nice job. Oberg and McGee together really did some things for us that will pay dividends for us if we get to continue to play this full season.